Hi guys, if you've been watching the previous videos on the aircraft, then you'll know that one of the jobs on the list was to cover these steering yokes in the same leather that I've done the rest of the job in. If you haven't seen the videos, I will leave a link in the description to all of those so you can go and watch them whenever you want. These steering yokes have had a little bit of sun damage. We've got a bit of blistering from the sun. Same on the other one. The other one is a little bit worse. But the first job that I need to do is to sand these down, get rid of these blisters, make the surface nice and flat again, and then I can make a pattern. Once I've made the pattern, I'll cut that out in leather, do any sewing that I need to do on it. I've got this quite sharp angle on them here, so I can't make this in one piece. I would have to put seam across here. So I'll make the pattern, I'll cut the leather, sew the seam in, and then I'm going to lace them together like I would do a steering wheel and see how we get on. Obviously, it's a little bit more of a complex shape than just a circle like a steering wheel is, but we should be all right. Now, I am running a little bit low on the leather. I've got these to do and a couple of other little bits to do, so I'm going to see if I can get everything out of what I've got left. I don't want to order more leather, so I will get on, do all the prep to these, and then I'll do the patterning. So you can see just how bad this one is. We've got quite a lot of blistering all around here. I have had a little bit of go at sanding it down. It's going to need quite a lot more. And there's a bit more blistering on this side. It's not as bad on this side. And the other one, we've got some quite bad blistering here. And this is probably just from sunshine. I'm going to start on this one. So that's the sanding done on both of these. I'm just going to give them a wipe over, just get rid of all the dust. And then I can start to pattern them. All right, so I'm going to pattern this top part first, the bit that is where your hands go. So I'm going to pattern that part up to the elbow, and then I'll pattern the rest. Now, they look pretty symmetrical to me, so I'm assuming they are. So I don't need to pattern one side, I don't need to pattern both. Now, I need the leather to actually come around the front, but not a lot, maybe half an inch, 3/4 inch, because we're going to get covered up by this piece anyway. So this piece needs covering. This will just be one piece of leather, patterning plastic, marker pen, pins, and maybe some double-sided tape, and we start the pattern. So the first thing I need to do is mark in where this seam is going to go. I want it right in the centre of the elbow. So I may have to put a seam here for the bottom. I'm just going to place the plastic on for now. Now I just need to start putting a couple of relief cuts in, just as I work up this way. So that's going to give me a little bit of an idea. I'm just going to mark in where the seams are at the minute. You see here we've got quite a lot of pattern plastic that needs to wrap around here. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of creativity with that. Now this should be a symmetrical pattern. If I fold it in half, it looks pretty symmetrical to me. That's the patterns now made. I did it a little bit differently than I started off. I was initially gonna have this as one piece and wrap it around, but it wasn't really gonna work. So I've decided to do a back and a front. So back and a front for the top and a back and a front for the bottom part. And I think that will work. Well, I hope it'll work. So got my 3 pieces. I need to cut these out now. So I'm going to stitch these seams here, and then I'm going to lace the other seams up at the back, just like a steering wheel. So on to cutting these parts. Now I don't have a lot of leather left from this job, but luckily these parts are quite small. This is just half the pattern. So I flip it over on the leather to get a mirror of that. Same with that one, and it's just 1, 2, 3, 4 of them per yoke. So I need to cut 8 of these in total. So I'll put this on mylar. These, do I put on mylar or not? I might do, might not. We'll see how we go.